Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called That's Just the Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby, and you could also use this to play Tupac's Changes. And it starts on an A minor chord, and the way you play A minor, first finger is going to go to the B string on the first fret, second finger is going to go to the D string on the second fret, and third finger is going to go to the G string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the A minor, we're going to be going to an E minor chord. And the way you play E minor, first finger goes to the A string on the second fret, second finger goes to the D string on the second fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the E minor, we're going to go to a D major chord, and the way you play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the second fret, second finger is going to go to the high E on the second fret, and third finger is going to go to the B string on the third fret, and if you strum just the D, G, B, and E, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the D major, we're going to be going to a C major chord, and the way you play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the first fret, second finger goes to the D string on the second fret, and third finger goes to the A string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the C major, we're going to be going to a G major chord. And the way you play G major, first finger goes to the A string on the second fret, second finger goes to low E on the third fret, and the third finger goes to the high E on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the G major, we're going to be going to a D major chord, and then we end up on a C major chord. So a lot of times with a song like this, though, to make it more interesting, I like adding something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we just tried that a lot on the A minor. You'd have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So you want to do that a lot to kind of get your right hand used to it. And the weird thing about our verse and also our intro is we're going to be halving a lot of our chords. And one way to do that is just do the down, down, up on each chord. So for instance, like through the verse, you'd have A minor, down, down, E minor, down, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, G, down, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, E minor, down, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, G, down, down, D, down, down, C, down, down, up, down, up. Would be one way to kind of strum through it. Something else you may want to experiment with is kind of halving the down, down, up, up between chords. So for instance, you could do the A minor with a down, down, up, and the E minor with the up, down, up, and kind of take that idea and carry it through. So you could do A minor with down, down, up, E minor on the up, down, D on the down, down, up, C, up, down, G, down, down, up, D, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, up, E minor, up, down, D, down, down, up, C, up, down, G, down, down, up, D, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, up. So you might experiment with that. And actually, to match the recording even better, actually what you could do is do a down, down on the first chord, and then a up, up, down, up on the next one. So if we tried it that way, we'd have A minor with down, down, E minor on the up, down, D on the down, down, C on the up, down, G on the down, down, D on the up, down, C on the down, down, up, down, A minor, down, down, E minor on the up, down, D on the down, down, C on the up, down, G on the down, down, D on the up, down, C, down, down, up, down, up. And then we'd basically be repeating that until we get to our chorus part. And our chorus starts on the G major, and then we go to an F major chord. We'll talk about a really easy way to kind of play this in a moment. But if you know the full bar F major, you do your first finger over the entire first fret, second finger goes to the G string on the second fret, third finger on the A string on the third fret, and the pinky is going to go to the D string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, it sounds an F major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. But a lot of times if you're just starting out or you just want to avoid the bar chord, you can play a substitute for that called F major 7. And the way you play F major 7, first finger is going to go on the B string on the first fret, same place he is for A minor and C. Second finger is going to go to the G string on the second fret, and third finger is going to go to the D string on the third fret. And if you strum just the D, G, B, and E, kind of the skinny 4 strings, that sounds an F major 7. It sounds really, really happy. And then from the F major, we're going to be going to the C major chord. But the weird part is on the chorus, we're going to be halving the G and F chords like we're having a lot of our chords in our verse. So one way to do that is just doing down, down, up on each one. So you'd have G with down, down, up, F, down, down, C, down, down, up, we did our down, down, up on the first chord and the up, down, up on the next one, then we have G with down, down, up, F, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, F, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, F, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, F, up, down, C, down, 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 up. Or if we tried it with the down, down on the first chord and the up, down, up on the next one, then we have G with down, down, F on the up, down, C, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, F on the up, down, C, down, 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 G, down, down, F on the down, C, down, 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 G, down, down, F on the down, C, down, down, down. So we want to kind of experiment with those different ways. But I know for myself, actually, what I like to do is I'll work off a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, if you divided that into 2 parts, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, that's called an 8th note. If you divide it into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's called a 16th note. And what I think really matches the recording really well is a down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And what I mean by that is like if you take the A minor and do a down on 1 and an up on 4, you kind of have a long down up idea where you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, long down, up, long down, up, long down, up, long down, up. So you're doing that on the first beat. On the second beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So you'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, down, 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 1 up, down. And on the third beat, you're doing up on 2, up on 4. So you'll be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 up, 1 up, 1 up, 1 up, 1 up, up. And then on beat 4, you'd be going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all together, you got long down, up, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. The weird thing is how we were having the chords before. You do the down, up on the first chord, and then the down, up, down, up on the second chord. So through our verses, you have A minor down, up, E minor on the down, up, down, up, D on the down, up, C on the down, up, down, G on the down, up, D on the down, up, down, C on the down, up, down, down. And we kind of be repeating that for our verse. We got A minor, up, E minor down, down, D down, up, C, up, down, G down, up, D, up, down, C down, up, down. And you basically be repeating that until we get to our chorus, and we could try that same idea with the G and F. So we have G with a down, up, F on the down, up, down, C down, up, down, G down, up, F on the down, up, down, C down, up, down, G down, up, F, down, C down, up, down, G down, up, F, down, C down, up, down. Maybe going back to your verse part for your solo. Now, just as a random aside, actually, on the verse part of the solo, because the solo actually kind of runs over the verse part and the chorus part. So over the verse part, we're actually in what's called the key of G major. And so if you wanted to, you could play around with those notes. It's kind of a jam thing. So one of my favorite patterns for a G major is something I call a stretch pattern, where you go from the low E 3rd fret, and then 5th fret, and then 7th fret. So it's kind of dot, dot, dot. And then you go to the A string and do the same thing. So you got 3, 5, 7 on the A string. And then when you go to the D string, you're going 4, 5, 7. And G string, same pattern. So you got 4, 5, 7. And then you go to the B string for 5, 7, 8. And then you got the high E for 5, 7, 8. So all together you're playing G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, or G, A, or 3, 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 5, 7, 8. And then in the verse part, so you can basically make up stuff with those notes. And actually hammer-ons and pull-offs, if you know about hammer-ons and pull-offs, that can be fun, or slides could be a cool thing to try playing around with. So you can make this more like a jazz thing, because that's definitely what Bruce Hornsby is all about, is making up a new solo every time he plays the tune. When you get to the chorus part where you got the G, F, C, we're actually in the key of C major. So that pattern for that part of the solo would actually move to the 8th fret, and then you'd be going 8, 10, 12 on the E, same thing on the A, so 8, 10, 12, and then 9, 10, 12, and then 9, 10, 12, and then 10, 12, 13, and then 10, 12, 13 on the top. So you'd actually be playing C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Just for that chorus part of the solo, and then you'd be back to G major for the rest of the tune. So that might be something else you want to play around with. And there's actually some really cool licks through this tune, especially on the intro, where you can kind of simulate that by going 5th fret on the high E, 7th fret on the high E, 8th fret on the high E twice, and then we go 7th fret on the high E, and then 5th fret on the high E, 3rd fret on the high E, and then back to 5th fret on the high E, and then 3rd fret on the high E, 2nd fret on the high E, 3rd fret on the high E, and then open E, and then we go 3rd on the B, 1st fret on the B, and then open B, and then kind of go back to 7th fret on the high E, 7, 8, 7, slide to 5, and then 3, 3, 3 on the high E. So you're playing A, B, C, C, B, and then A, G, and then F sharp, G, and then open E, and then D, C, B, and then you're back to B, C, B, A, and then a G, G at the very end. And then there's also a really cool lick in the chorus part where you can kind of simulate that by going 2nd fret on the G string and doing a hammer on the 4th fret on the G string. So I'm kind of playing my 1st finger and then letting my 3rd finger kind of go down with enough force to get the sound to come out. And then you go high on the 3rd fret for a G note, and then you go open G string and kind of do a hammer on the 2nd fret, which is the A note, so you're going G to A, it's kind of a hammer on, and then open E, so then you got just an open E note, and then you'd be going a D string open 2nd fret to an E note, and or on the D string, so you're going O2 hammer on the D string, and then open G, so you got 2, 4, 3, O2, open, O2 on the D string, open G. So you're playing A, B, G, G, A, E, D, E, G. So that might be kind of a cool lick to kind of throw in too. But that's the basics of how you can strum through That's Just the Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby, or if you're kind of thinking more of Tupac's Changes, it's the same tune. So good luck!